in few moments the recording should start. Let me see. Okay. From this moment, the lecture has been recording. Okay. Usually, I'm not gonna use the recording system from Teams, and I am gonna use another system which is more effective for the University of Bologna, which is called Panopto. And but today is not working because I didn't arrange properly the webcams. I need two webcams, and actually I have only one. But anyhow, all the recordings, all the videos will be linked in the website Virtuale, inside which we are gonna share all the materials. I'm coming back to this in few minutes. Okay. So the introductory lesson. Okay. Do you have questions? First of all, okay. One of the first questions I always ask to students is your country of birth or of residence. Okay, so I'm really interested. We are really interested in Sorry, the line went down. Okay, so I would like to know, where are you from? You can write me in your chat, or I can ask you, Canary Island. Oh, lucky you. Canary Island is a really good place. Someone from US? Let's start from the West. Someone from the US? I'm from Pakistan. Someone from South America? Pakistan, okay. I'm from Iran, okay. Other from Iran or Eastern countries? Alex, okay, you are from US, of course. India? Palestine? Iran, Palestine, Kazakhstan, ooh. China, okay. I'm Billy from the Philippines. Nice to meet you. Russia, Russia. It's really cold in Russia at the moment. Much colder than here. Lebanon, Africa, anyone from Africa? China again, okay. Norwegian, Northern Europe. Other European students from other countries inside Europe, belonging to Europe? Okay. India, Pakistan. And then some of you are expected to be Italians. So where are you from, Italian students? From which city or region or whatever? Rome, okay. I'm from Bologna. Rome again. It's really hot. Yeah. Sicily, Ravenna. My birthplace is Ravenna. Sicily, Avellino, Cesena. Someone from northern Italy? Okay. So we are covering Verona. Okay. We are covering a large amount of the world. Let's say especially in the eastern part, but we have also some students from Northern Europe, from US, South America. No one is from South America? Okay, so we are a really international program. Really good, really good. Sometimes I'm gonna use this system to understand things. I'm gonna write down in the chat Italian, not Italian, and you are asked to thumbs up the right sentence for you. So I'm gonna understand how many Italian students are attending and how many are foreign students. Someone has the microphone on and is producing echo, so I ask you to switch off your microphone, please. $15 again. Okay. As you can understand, this way of giving lessons and classes is not the best one. So along the course, I will so often ask you to participate to the classes by using some, let's say, digital tool or by asking you questions or whatever, okay? This is a way to involve you along the course, to better follow the classes. And so I strongly encourage you to participate to the activities. This is a trivial activity, but it's a way, again, to meet together in a different way with respect to the usual one. We are not allowed to meet together in a room, unfortunately, really unfortunately, so we have to try other ways to be effective, okay? So at the moment I have 40 students answering the questions, but we are more than 55. So as I just told you, please participate to the class. I'm expecting that at least 10 more students should thumbs up the Italian or foreign students sentence. Okay? Please. So a majority of you are from abroad, and I hope that due to the time shift from your countries and Italy, the timetable would be sustainable for you. Since most of you are from the eastern part of the world, actually you should be maybe in the afternoon or at midday approximately, depending from the time shift, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours ahead of us. So this should be sustainable. But if you have problems, unfortunately we cannot move the time schedule, but by recording the lecture you can follow the lecture also in a non-synchronous way. Okay, so 23 against 17. Let's say 60% against 40%. Really good, good. Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen right now. I'm gonna share the screen. Okay. And now you should see the presentation, isn't it? Is it correct?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay. As I told you, I often I will ask you questions. Don't be shy. You can answer by using, switching on your microphone, or you can answer also by writing in the chat. But please do that, okay? So, this first lecture is an introductory lecture, mostly related to give you an outline of the course and also of the organization of the course, in order to be prepared, in order to expect what is coming, okay? So, first of all, what I've already introduced to you is that the course will be divided into two parts, but the course is only one, and the exam will be divided, but the final mark will be only one, okay? So we have two modules, two exams, but in the end we will have a weighted mean of the 2 marks to give you only one final marks from this course, Advanced Design of Structures, okay? As for a brief outline of the program, which can also be found on the web pages inside the website of Unibo in my page, this is a really short outline of the fundamental parts we are gonna see along the course. So, part 0, something that in my mind you should already know. This is a structural course, but of a master program, so we cannot start from the really beginning, okay? I have to give some fundamental basic knowledge for granted, okay? So if this is not the case, yes, questions? No. So, Sibgatullah Burdi, please switch. Okay, now you switched off your microphone. So there are some issues, some base knowledge that I'm expecting you to already have, and in particular, all the skills, most of the skills related to the structural analysis of framed structures. Okay, how to solve a simple frame, how to develop, how to draw the diagrams of the internal forces, bending moments, shear forces, axial force, etc. Okay? Remember, in my mind, you should already know how to obtain these type of results. Okay? And in order to help you, if your fundamentals are not so strong, there are a number of online classes available for you, describing, explaining, introducing exactly this part, which is a prerequisite of the course, okay? So if you feel weak on this point 0, you can follow alone in a non-synchronous way this part related to the solution of frame system, to the solution of simple verification against flexure, axial force, and whatever. Everything is most of it is explained through these online courses, and the link to these online classes, more than courses, sorry, classes, will be put inside the website of the course. This is the link, okay? This one is the link. I'm going to give you this presentation. This presentation will be uploaded again on the website of the course. Then, part number 1, the one we will start from, the design of RC reinforced concrete frame structures the course is mainly devoted to the analysis and the understanding how to manage and handle reinforced concrete structures, my part of the course, my module, while the one from Silvestri is devoted to other aspects. Okay, so in terms of design of reinforced concrete structures, point 1.1, the ultimate limit state approach and the ultimate limit state verifications against flexure. To me, those are parts that you should already know. And as I told you before, in the online classes, you can listen, you can understand the basic related to this topic, okay, if you feel weak. For those of you coming from Italian bachelor programs, in most of the cases, in the large majority of the cases, you already studied these issues at the bachelor, okay? So the course will mainly start from this point on. We will start by considering, by understanding the shear behavior of reinforced concrete elements. And in particular, we will start from beams elements, okay, elements in which the length is much larger than the transversal dimensions. So the behavior against shear, and an important part about the structural details. Apart from the calculation, how can we arrange the reinforcement inside reinforced concrete frame? This is really important for us. This is something often following the calculation, but really often is much more important than calculation. So we will focus on that a little bit. Then the second big chapter of the course will be related to serviceability limit states. We will have the opportunity to go in deep inside this aspect, of course, and in this framework, we will talk about the most important serviceability limitations, the control of stresses, of cracking, and the deflection of monodimensional elements, beams. Okay? Then we have part 3, the ductility of reinforced concrete members. Ductility is a fundamental aspect of structural engineering, especially every time you dealt with seismic engineering. But even in all the other cases, the ductility of our systems is a fundamental issue to be clearly understood in order to properly manage the problem at hand. Okay? So we will talk extensively about ductility of reinforced concrete members at different scale, at different dimensions, in order to have this subject really clear. At least this is the expectation. Then point number 4, plates. And we will move at that point of the course, we will move from one-dimensional elements, beams, and so framed structures. We will move to multidimensional systems, plates and shells. Okay, and in particular, chapter number 4 will be devoted to the study of plates and plates under bending, flexural behavior of plates. Plates are two-dimensional systems in which both the dimensions are prevailing against the thickness of the element. Okay, so you can have in mind slabs. Finally, we will talk about cylinders. Again, these are three-dimensional systems belonging to the group of shells, and we will talk in details about all the specific in order to understand the mechanical behavior, the structural behavior of cylinders. Okay, So this is the program in brief, really in brief. Later I will give you some more elements. I will go a little bit more in deep about these different topics. As you can see, we will focus at the beginning on frames and all the issues related to frames. And then in the second part of the course, we will mostly focus on 2 and 3 dimensional elements. We will not have the time to go in all the details, but I'm going to give you some simple methods of analysis of managing this type of problems. This is the fundamental issue. You will be able at the end to tackle with these problems by understanding that actually most of these elements are governed, are understood by using numerical methods, okay? We know that. But simple methods, hand methods, or by using simple calculation are still fundamental for us because we need to control the numerical methods. We cannot give our total willingness to the numerical methods. We have to rely on them, but we have to control the results coming from them, okay? And this is the way, this is the main goal of the course, to give you some tools necessary to control the process of designing, verifying the structural elements, and mainly reinforced concrete elements, okay? Questions? Okay, so we can move on. Some organizational elements, issues of the course. I've explained to you at the beginning the timetable. As for this aspect, again, I would like to give you another element. Since we have 2 hours together, okay, we have 2 classes of 2 hours each, okay? So my proposal is to start some minutes late, more or less like today, in 9 and 10 minutes, 9 and 15 maximum minutes, no more than that, let's say 9 and 10 minutes, and conclude some minutes earlier. In this case, in place of closing the lecture at 11, we can stop at 11 minus 10 minutes or something like that, okay? Without doing a break in the middle. So we will have only one continuous lecture, but shorter, if you agree. If you feel not comfortable with this organization, I can modify it. So I'm asking to you if you agree or not to follow these possible methods of giving the lectures without break in the middle. Someone which is not comfortable with this approach, break is better, okay? Other, Verdad, he doesn't agree. Other students, don't be shy. This is not a judgment. I would like to know your opinion. Great. We are okay.
I think break is better, Professor.
Sorry, Sab?
I think having a break in the middle of the course is better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Other opinion, break is better. So we can arrange in this way. We can start a little bit late, but after less than 1 hour, I will stop for 10 minutes the lecture, and we will conclude at the expected time. Okay? So if we start at 9:10, we can we can have a break at 10, more or less, approximately, and then we will start again in 10 and 10 minutes, 10:10, and we will conclude at 11. If you feel that this is better, this is not a problem for me. Okay? Okay. Good. Really often, I will forget to do the break. So I'm asking you to tell me, to remember me that I have to stop, please. I know that once I start talking about issues and the different subjects, often I will forget to stop at the proper time. So please write something on the chat or switch on your microphone and tell me something. Please, Professor, we should stop. This is the time for the break or whatever. Okay, so please help me in keeping the schedule proper. Okay. So another important aspect of this module of my course, my part of the course, is the evaluation procedures. I would like to be really clear about this, because this is often an aspect that you have lots of questions about. So the first step concerning point 0 of the program I've introduced to you briefly before is the self-assessment. I'm going to give you an exercise to all of you. I will upload on the chat and also on the website of the course. And you are expected to solve the problem alone, at your home, in your place, okay? You can use whatever you want. Doesn't matter. This is a way only to understand your level, but to understand for you, okay? A self-assessment. You have to understand if the level we are expecting has been reached or not from your previous activities. If your knowledge, if your starting point is proper or not. Okay? So I'm going to give you the exercise soon, really soon. And some days later, I'm going to give you also the solution. Okay? I don't want to see the solved exercises. Okay? You have to check them alone. Okay? So this is a self-assessment. And this is the first test. In my mind, this is a sort of helping hand for you to understand clearly, or a little bit more clear, your starting point. If you have some aspects which are not clear, in order to suggest to you to start studying something that you already don't know, okay, or don't know properly. So this is the first step, the self-assessment. Then along the course, I'm going to give you all the schedule later, there will be the midterm. The midterm is a midterm exam, is a written exam. We are going to most probably, not most probably, for sure, we are going to give you the midterm online, okay? It's a written exam lasting approximately 2 hours. And it is related to the first topics that we are going to focus on during the first part of the course, of course. Okay, so the structure analysis, the ultimate limit state verification, and the ductility, and the structural details. Okay, approximately the midterm will be in the middle of April. Okay, this is a written exam. It is not mandatory. You can choose to do it or not. Of course, there is a preferential track according to which you should do the midterm, because later you will have also an homework to do, okay? Through a group activity, and we will give you the homework approximately at mid-April, and you are expected to give us the homework back solved at the end of the course. We will arrange a number of groups. The maximum number of participants to each group is 5. And in this homework, which is an activity that you will do at home, again, the topics, the relevant topics will be the serviceability, limit state verifications, checks, and the cylinder, the structural behavior of cylinders. And as the last sentence states, we prefer international groups. What does it mean? That in my mind, if you mix up a little bit, it would be better. This is particularly true when you are gonna attend the classes live. Actually, this idea is a little bit exotic, okay? But if this will be possible, if something for a part of the world will mix up with something, some other students from another part of the world, that would be useful, that would be helpful, in order not only to study, but to join cultures, to know yourself in a different ways, okay? To read the international program in a broader way, okay? With a broader perspective. But that's up to you. Okay, so after the homework, at the end of the course, there will be the final exam. The final will be related only to the remaining part of the course, which was not analyzed previously. So the final exam is a written exam, again online. The duration is the same like before, 2 hours. And the topic of the written exam, the final, the topics will be plates and slabs. Okay? Of course, if you want to do the final, you have to follow the track. So you have to do the midterm and then the final. You cannot do the final without the midterm. You can do the midterm, but if the evaluation of the midterm is not positive, you cannot do the final. No, you can do the final. Okay? The last stage is the oral exam, which is not mandatory, as you can see. And I'm going to explain why it is not mandatory later, but really soon. The oral exam will cover all the course. In the oral, the homeworks can be discussed. The most theoretical parts of the course can be asked, can be discussed, but the oral, remember, is open to all the topics covered by my module, okay? If you do the midterm and the final, but the mark is not positive, I don't get it. We have to do midterm or not? You have to do the midterm if you want to do the final. If you don't do the midterm, you cannot do the final. Okay? But let me explain. If you do not do the midterm and the final, you have another opportunity. You can do another written exam, which I call it the full exam, a total exam. In this full exam, which is written, okay, all the topics of the course are covered, can be covered. The duration is, again, 2 hours. So there will be a limited number of exercises, but you don't know on which topic, okay? So you can do the midterm and the final, first possibility, or you can do the full written exam, okay? So, Medad, is this clear or not now? Okay. After the full written exam, if you want to do that, or if you need it, you can do the oral, like before. After the written part, you can always do the oral part. And the oral exam, this one, is exactly like the other oral exam, is coincident, okay? All the topics are covered by this oral part. Okay, so there is a quite complex, let's say, organization, but this has been developed along the years in order to support you. Is in your interest, this type of organization. And now the other phase of the medal, how can we evaluate all this part of the course? This is the mechanism of the evaluation of marks. Each activity I've mentioned before along the course, along the semester, each activities allow the student to gain points, okay? And we are going to sum up all the points you are gaining steps after step. And all these points will contribute to your final mark, okay? In particular for the homework. If you follow the main track, the streamline, which is midterm, homework, and final, okay? Every activity has a number of points, and then we will sum up all these points. So you will reach a given threshold. But if you don't do the midterm and the final, or if you are not positive, and you do only the homework, then when attending the full exam, the homework will be considered only with 50% of the points. Okay, like it is written over here. Okay, so if you don't follow the streamline, or if you are not able to follow the streamline, and you do directly, or if you repeat the full exam, then the points obtained through the homework will be considered only for the 50%. This is a way to suggest you to follow the streamline, to follow the approach midterm, homework, final, and eventually and possibly the oral if you are interested in it. Okay? You are not obliged to do that, but we are encouraging to do that and to study all along the course, every day, every week of the course. This will be really useful for you. So the number of points related to each activity, finally. So for the midterm, we are assigning a maximum of 9 points. For the homework, we are assigning the same maximum amount of points, 9. And again, the same for the final, 9 points. Okay? So if all the 3 parts reach the top, you can obtain 27, okay, as a maximum evaluation. If you want to get more, you have to do the oral, but you are not obliged to do that. It is not mandatory, okay? So the oral exam can give you 6 more points at the maximum level. If the oral is really good, 6 points, or less, of course. Okay? This is the streamline. If you do the midterm, the homework, the final, and possibly also the oral. The other possibility is to skip this approach, or if you are not positive along this track, then you can still do a full written exam, and in that case, you can get a maximum of 24 points, And you can do or you cannot do the oral exam gaining 6 points, like before. Remember that if you follow this second possible approach, the points from the homework will be divided by 2, 50% only. Okay? How many minimum points are needed to pass? 18. At the end, yes, the minimum amount of points, the minimum is 18. But not at every step, of course, at the end. Okay? So if at the end of the main track you have 16, you can decide to do the oral. Okay? If you have 19, you can stop there, or you can do the oral to improve your evaluation. This is up to you. Okay? Is it clear? Questions? If you have questions, don't worry. Let's do them.
Professor?
Yes?
In the full plus oral exams, the 50% of the homework, those points are added to the 24?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And is this exam style that you outlined for your part only or also for the other?
Yes, I'm talking only about my module. Professor Silvestri will explain his part directly to you in his lectures, okay? I'm talking only about my module. Only. Okay? At the end of all this process, you will gain a mark, one number, okay? And through the activity with Professor Silvestri, you will get another mark. Then we will do a weighted mean of the 2 marks. Since my module has 6 credits and his module has 3 credits, okay? So we will use 2 weights. My mark has a weight which is double than his one, okay? But from the activity from Professor Silvestri and from my activity, you will gain 2 numbers, 2 marks, and the 2 marks will be joined together to give you only one final mark. Of course, we will give you the final mark after you positively pass both modules, as expected. We cannot give you officially one module at a time, okay? We can only give you the final mark, which is the weighted sum of the one from Silvestri and the one from myself. Okay. Is the oral plus minus? Not. The oral is only plus. We are at least only if you start shouting at me or telling me really bad things, but really bad, then it could be minus, but it never happened in my experience. So the answer is plus. Okay, it's a way to show me that you not only are able to do to have written skills, to have the capacity to solve the problems, but also to have properly and understood also the theory behind most of the problems. Okay, so it is a step further. Okay. Other questions? Okay, we can move on. The schedule. These are already the dates on which we will do.
Can I ask something?
Sorry?
Can I ask something about?
Yes, you can.
Okay, you said that you have a 6 credit. It means that your score multiplication 2 and plus the other score and in the final divided 3. It is the final score of this.
Yes, the final score will be the score with me, the first module times 0.67 plus the score in the second times 0.33.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
You should write down all these days, all these appointments, since they would be hardly moved, okay? Especially this year that you are online, so there are not all those issues about the flights, planes, and whatever, holidays, and I don't know what. I'm going to give you this organization just today, so you can book really in advance these activities. So the midterm written exam, April the 20th. Okay, the homework assignment I'm going to give you and explain to you what to do, April 23. And at that time, you will have already organized the groups. Okay? We are going to focus in the following lectures on this topic. And you have to give to me back the homework May 28th. Okay? So you have more than 1 month to do the homework. In the first days of June, the course will stop, and more or less approximately 1 week later, we will have the final. The final exam will be June 15th. Who can attend the final? Only those one who have positively passed the midterm. Remember, okay? The correspondent oral, for those of you who have positively passed the final, the corresponding oral will be on June 24. Okay? So if you follow the main track, you can stop here or here at the end of June. And that's it, depending to you. If you need, or if you want to follow another track, another path, you can do the total exam, which is a written exam, June 25, soon after the closure of the streamline. June 25, the written part, July the 2nd, the oral part. Okay? If you want to do that, or if you need to do that. We will repeat the total exam again during the summer, July the 12th, written part, and the possible oral, July the 20th. Okay? So you have more than one opportunity to pass the exam, my module, but also for Silvestri you will have more than one opportunity. Then we will move into September. I don't have the schedule already fixed right now, but we will have further opportunities in September, October, maybe in December. So along the year, we will have a number of possibilities. At that time, we will only have total exams, okay? After the end of June, the idea of midterm and final disappear. After that stage, you can only do a total written exam and possibly, or if you need it, the oral part, okay? A number of times a year. In any case, I strongly suggest you to study at a proper way before attempting the exam. Even if you can have more than one opportunity, you don't have to waste your time. It's really important. You have to be focused on this topic. You have to understand. I know by experience that many of you are not so used to follow the courses, follow the mathematics we do here in Italy in the same way like at your home, but you should try to focus on this type of approach. We need to understand how to solve problems. We don't need to go to memorize lots of formulas. This is not being engineers. Okay? Engineers understand problems and try to solve them by their knowledge, by their experience. This is our approach. And we firmly are strongly convinced about this. Okay? But I know that for some of you this can be a little bit new, let's say, new. Okay. Write down all this day, because I'm sure there will be overlapping, overpositions with other exams, with your personal activities, I don't know what. But we can hardly change these days. Okay? The second part of the course is the one from the second module, is taught by Professor Stefano Silvestri. He is going to give you all the details. I'm really briefly I'm going to introduce you the main topics: pre-stress, reinforced concrete elements and beams mainly, composite structures, steel and concrete composite structures, and an introduction to steel structures. These will be the three main topics. Okay, but all the details will be described and introduced by Professor Silvestri.
Professor, can I ask something or
Yes, you can.
About the exam, if we do it the midterm and in the 15th of January we cannot do it because of a lot of things. If we want to do it in the 25th of June, I think, the midterm, it does work anymore.
No, the final is only the 15th, June 15th.
So if I want to do it in the 25, it means that you have to do it a full exam.
Yes, you have to.
There is no opportunity.
And remember that if you do the full exam, the homework will have a 50% evaluation only.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Welcome. Other questions? It means that your score... Okay, yes, I've already answered to that question. Other questions about the evaluation procedure? Okay. So, we can
Hello,
have a
Prof.
short break. Yes? Can
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, when you say a positive midterm, how many points do you mean over the 9 points?
No. If I told you positive, I made a mistake. Sorry. You have to do the midterm. Okay?
So
Even if
we
you gain
only
few
gain points.
Even if you gain really few points, you can do the final.
The final, okay, thank
Okay,
you.
if I told you you have a minimum point, I did a mistake. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You can also gain, let's say, 1-2 points only, and you can do the final. Okay. If you don't do the midterm, you cannot do the final. Okay. Or
Okay,
if you
I
give
get
me
it.
back the midterm completely empty. If I can see an empty paper, then it's like you didn't do that. Okay? Good. We can have a short break, and then we can go on. Okay? No more than 10 minutes, let's say. Even because this lecture is really soft and easy. This is an introductory lecture. Okay, so 10-minute breaks, and then we will start again. Here we are again. Are you with me?
Hi, Professor. Yes.
Hi.
Here we are.
Okay. I have some elements, some issues that I didn't clarify before, and I have to do it right now. First of all, if you, since we are a large number, actually we are more than 60, if you switch on your webcam, we can do, I can take a picture, okay? So you are asked to switch on your webcam right now. Only for a few moments. I'm not gonna share the screen. Okay, good. Something more, please. We are now 3:25. Okay. Good. Smile. Okay. Another one.
Naman, are you looking beautiful?
You are all looking beautiful. Aspetta, okay. Così. Be patient with me. Okay, we should have the picture. I'm gonna share the picture on the chat as soon as I am able to. Okay. Now, if you wanna switch off your webcam, you can. Of course, you can always do this type of. One of the elements I didn't ask you before is this one. How many of you are here in Bologna and are gonna attend the classes live, in presence? Let me see. If you place your thumbs up, on live, I can understand the number. Oh, so a large number of you are here in Bologna. Really good. This is quite surprising for me, but a positive surprise. I'm in Bologna. So more than 30, too many. More than 40, 45. most of you are here in Bologna. This is really strange. In the first semester, most of the students were at their places. And I was expecting that since most of you are foreign students, are living in foreign countries, I was expecting that you stay there. But it's really positive because I strongly prefer the live experience with respect to this online experience. So this is really good, really good. I'm gonna share the picture right now. Let me see if I'm able to do that. Actually, you should see the picture on the chat. Can you see it? You should download it, I suppose. Only a part of you is there, but at least we have some memory. But since so large number of you will attend the classes, we will have the opportunity to see directly. Okay. So since so many of you are here in Bologna, have to give you some further advice about the attendance of the classes here live. Okay? There is an app, maybe that you already know it, which is called Presente. Welcome. And you should download this app, and you have to book in advance your presence in the room 1 week, every 1 or 2 weeks. Okay? So you cannot go in the room for free. You have to warn us that you are going to attend the classes in presence. Okay? Is this clear or not? Welcome. Do you know the app Presente?
Yes, Professor.
You already use it in the first semester, most probably.
Yes.
Okay, so the app is the same, because until few days ago, only a small number of you booked the presence into the room for the following weeks. Okay, so I strongly suggest you need to do that, to book your presence through the app. We, unfortunately, at the moment at least, we will have only one class in presence, and it will be the class of Friday. The room is Aula Magna, which is a really large room at the second floor of the building, and you can easily find it when you will visit the building. Exactly, presente.unibo.it, exactly that one. This is for your attendance here at the university. And I strongly encourage you to attend the classes. And since a so large number of you are here in Bologna, I will also ask to the program coordinator if we can do both the classes live. But I'm not so confident that we will be able to obtain this due to the availability of so large rooms. But I'm going to ask in any case. The second really important aspect is the website of the course. Most probably you already know, but I'm going to share it again, the screen. There is a website which is called Virtuale, the virtual learning environment of the University of Bologna. And you can access the page by using your credentials, the credential by University of Bologna, your email and your password. And inside Virtuale, you can find the page of our course. Okay, you have always to refer to that page for all the materials, and also for the distribution list. You have to sign inside the web page of the course. You have to sign to the course, so that everything I put there, everything I write as a warning, as a message, will automatically reach you. Okay? So you have to sign inside Virtuale in the web page of the course. The web page is only one, both for me and Professor Silvestri. I can show you the. Okay. This is the web page. Since I have a number of courses, I can see many, but if you look for Advanced Design of Structure, this is the web page of the course, and you have to sign in the link Participants, okay? At the moment, there is already a list of you. Check that you or verify that you are enrolled in the course. In this way, you will be entitled to download all the material. And every time I will write to you a message, it will get to you. Okay? And this will be the preferential way according to which I will give you some unexpected news, some modification of the schedule or whatever. Okay? Through this distribution list. So please remember that this is important. If you have some problem by signing you to this distribution list, write to me and we will try to solve the problem together with you. The same is also for the module by Professor Silvestri. I repeat again. Okay? This is a common web page for me and Silvestri. The same web page. And also, all the materials are listed in a sequence, those by me and those by Professor Silvestri. Okay? So you have to sign here and use this as reference. Is this clear or not? Do you have questions? No. Apparently no, at least. Okay. Then, other organizational aspects. Okay. Before coming back to the topics. My office, for those of you attending live, my office is located at the second floor of the building after room 2.9, at the end of the long corridor, okay? At the moment, the live meetings are not so suggested, okay? So the standard way to contact me will be through emails, and we can arrange an online meeting by using Teams, okay? This is the standard approach, okay? My meeting times are listed in the web page, in my web page, but anyhow, are usually focused on Monday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon, okay? Anyhow, before in order to book a meeting, you have to write to me an email. Okay? Along the course, I will have the support of other engineers, of other people, and namely, I will have the support of Dr. Del Prete, Clementina, and Dr. Ferretti, Francesca. Okay? In some way, they will help us in developing the course, the homeworks, all the written exams and whatever. Okay? So you can also refer to them for assistance. You can find easily their emails on the web page of University of Bologna. Name Clementina dot surname Del Prete, and then maybe you can have a number or not at unibo.it, and the same for Francesca. So you can meet me in those time period. You can meet them, and I don't know what else. Okay, that's more or less enough. I'm gonna give you all most of the course. No, 100% of the course will be given through PowerPoint presentations. I'm gonna give you all the presentations. I will record through videos all the lectures, and I'm gonna put the link to the presentations into the web page. Okay. The recordings of today, since I've used Teams, will be available directly on the chat, on this chat, okay? But usually I'm gonna use another software and other systems, and so the video will not be available on the chat. You need to go inside the Virtuale web page, and then you will have the link. And only the students entitled to see and to download the video will be allowed to use it. Okay. There are no books, specific books necessary to study this course. Okay. All the necessary material will be given through the web pages, which are the PowerPoint presentations, some exercises, some tests to train yourself, all the videos and whatever. So you don't need specific books. Of course, if you want to have some reference book, there are existing books, but you are not obliged to use one specific book. Okay. Other issues that you would like to ask me about the general approach of the course, the goal of the course has been clarified a little bit at least. I know that some of you is not familiar with oral exams. The oral is a moment when we are going to ask you questions about the topics of the course, and as I told you before, more specifically, the theoretical background behind the topics. Okay? Since the operational issues will be verified through the written exams. Okay? So the goals of the two parts, oral and written, are slightly different. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to be too boring for you, but I can see by experience that if I'm not clear into these issues and aspects, you cannot feel comfortable. And our intention is that you enjoy your staying here by following this course, and you feel comfortable by studying this topic. Okay, so I hope to be able to fulfill my goal. Okay, some more details to conclude the lecture by today. No, I forgot a really important thing. A really bad news. This Friday, into 2 days, in the next 2 days, I won't be able to give the lecture. Okay, since I have an official appointment booked since many months, and I cannot skip it because it's really official. So the lecture of Friday won't be delivered. Okay, will be skipped. I apologize, that's my fault, but don't worry, we will have the time to cover properly all the topic of the course, and we have some few more hours with respect to the schedule amount, so we have the possibility to cover properly everything. Okay, so be aware, this Friday, Friday 19, the lecture, you cannot attend the lecture. Okay, anyhow, exactly for these events, if you are signed into the distribution list, I can warn you really easily by sending you a message. Okay, so please verify that you are already signed in the distribution list of the course. Okay. I've already introduced the topics to you before. Some few more slides concerning the macro topic of my module. Designing reinforced concrete structures to me means in particular to be able to manage to understand how the structural elements work under flexural behavior, the axial force, under axial force, and shear behavior. And in this perspective, we will talk in this part of the module, we will talk extensively about shear, because in my mind, the behavior against flexure, bending moment, and axial force are already a basic knowledge for you. We will move to the serviceability limit state. As I told you, serviceability means a condition which is quite common along the service life of a structure. We will talk about cracks, about cracking, about deflection, and we will investigate the specific behavior of concrete and steel in correspondence of cracking. What is going to happen when cracks happens, okay? And then the ductility. Ductility means nonlinear behavior of systems. We are, at least usually at the bachelor, we are prone to consider an elastic behavior of our materials, of our structures, but the real behavior is not linear, especially against exceptional events like the earthquake. And unfortunately, a large number of earthquake strikes every year all around the world. Year after year, the surface of the earth becoming seismic, recognized as seismic area, is increasing. We have the experience here in Italy in the last 10 years, 90% or approximately 90% of the Italian surface was declared seismic area. Okay, so ductility is fundamental every time we look at the seismic behavior, the nonlinear behavior, strong forces. And so we will discuss about extensively again about the ductility and its importance. Plates. I've told you before they are two-dimensional systems in which the thickness is much smaller than the other two dimensions, the length and the width. Okay, so this is the main difference with respect to beams, and correspondingly, in order to manage the plates, we need a different theory with respect to the beam theory that you already studied and you already know. Okay, so we will introduce the specific theories about the plates, and we investigate how to understand the distribution of the bending moments, shear moments, and whatever, and also how to design reinforced concrete plates. Okay? Cylinders, finally. Cylinders belongs to the category of shells, which means three-dimensional systems. Since cylinders are a really common shape inside infrastructures, mainly, we will focus a little bit on the structural behavior of cylinders, how to understand the forces distribution inside cylinders, and how to design the reinforcement inside cylinders. There is someone with the microphone switched on, please switch it off. Okay, so again we will need of a specific theory. We will need to understand the mechanical behavior first in order to come to the equation later. Okay, this is always the approach we will follow. We need to understand the problem first, and then we will move to the solution, to the equation. From stage 1 to stage 2, in many cases, there is some mathematics. There is some physical steps to be developed. Okay, and we need to understand those steps. Only in this way you will be able to properly govern the problems, to understand the problems. Okay. As for the standards, every time you talk about design, you have in mind standards. This is only partially true. The design process is a really complex process, only partially involving the codes. Codes and standards are our boundary conditions. Okay? They set the scheme. They define the boundaries inside which we can move. We have to move. Okay? And in order to move inside this design approach, we need to understand the problems. Okay? So the design process starts from ideas, from the understanding of the issues at stake. You have to try to solve them. This is the first step. This is a positive step, because you start thinking, you have ideas, okay? But then you have to fall within the general framework. You have to assure safety in a standard way. So after thinking about new solutions, you have to check them against the standards, against the codes. Okay? So you have the first step, the real design, and the second step, the verification. Codes are mainly involved in the second step. The first one is something that is coming from your knowledge, from your experience. Okay? And in this first stage is really difficult to be delivered in a room at the university. I will try to give you the fundamental aspects, okay? And we also focus in some cases on the verifications, but not always. Verifications are not so fundamental for me at this stage. Verifications are fundamental for the general approach, of course. You cannot skip the verifications. All the verifications have to be satisfied, of course. But inside the course, you have first to understand the problems in order to be able to think, to design, and then the verifications. The complex tools, the numerical tools, are usually used for the verification approach. We will see that even for complex systems like for plates or cylinders, you can use simple methods to design, or at least for a preliminary design. You can use methods available by hands, okay? This is the first step. But then you have to move to the second step, the verifications. And for the verification, you need more complex tools, the numerical tools, the finite element methods, for example. And you have to apply all the verifications included inside the standards and the codes, okay? These two steps, this track is fundamental. You have never to mix the verification approach with the designing approach, okay? They are consequential, they are strongly linked together, but they are not overlapping, okay? It's an error to think that by solving the verification you are designing. Designing is something else. And most often the most important part of the design are the drawings. The structural details are most often the real important part of the everything. Okay? So we have to focus on the calculations, but we have also to keep in mind that drawings and structural details are of paramount importance. Okay, so as for the codes, our references will be the Italian code, but since this is an international program, our main reference will be the Eurocode approach and the Eurocodes. There are a number of them, from Eurocode number 0 to Eurocode number 8, focusing on specific issues and aspects of the structural engineering, okay? So every time it will be needed, we will mention the specific Eurocodes as our references. In any case, the Italian standard, the actual Italian standard, was introduced by summarizing most of the aspects described inside the Eurocodes. So the Italian standards is really similar in many aspects to the Eurocodes. This is the structure of the Italian standard, only to say that there are different parts. Even if you don't understand the writing, don't be scared. We don't need to read the sequence of items. We have parts devoted to the actions in order to be able to identify forces. And then we have specific parts describing how to tackle the specific technologies. Reinforced concrete, in Italian calcestruzzo, or cemento armato. And another part, really important, the specific prescription every time you design and work inside a seismic area. This is a common structure of most of the codes at an international level. So you have chapters for specific technologies and then chapter for the specific rule for seismic areas. And then we have another really important chapter, which is quite original worldwide, which is the chapter specifically devoted to the existing structures. At least in Italy, but not only in Italy, we have to focus on a specific problem right now. Most of our built heritage is quite old, and we built really few new buildings. Okay? So we have to improve the existing one. We have to strengthen, retrofit the existing ones. And so we have a dedicated chapter to this type of approach. How to manage the existing buildings. Actually, also inside the Eurocodes, they are working to produce a new Eurocode volume devoted to the existing structure. But in Italy, we already have this type of chapter. Not many other foreign standards have this type of chapter. Okay, that's it. This is the list of the existing Eurocodes from number 0 to number 9, no, not 8, I did a mistake, sorry. The basis of structural design, forces, reinforced concrete structure, steel structure, composite structure, timber, masonry structure, geotechnical issues, earthquake specific rules, and the last one, aluminium structures. Okay? This will be the general framework for us when dealing with codes, but we will focus mainly on Eurocode number 2. And this is not the central part of the course. Okay? Ideas and behaviors are the central part of the course. I'm stressing this a lot, even too much maybe, but because I know that the perspective in other countries is not always the same we share here in Italy. So since we have to work together, the most effective way to do that is to share the same approach. Okay, that's it. This part can be skipped easily. This is only a more specific focus on Eurocodes. So do you have questions? Clarifications, request? Okay. So we will meet next week, same place, same time. If I will never be able to change this lecture from online to presence, you will be the first to know, of course, but I'm not so confident to be able to do that, unfortunately. I'm really sorry, but we have another class. Yes, you have to go right now. I know that at 11 you have another class. The class is concluded. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Professor.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Goodbye, Professor. Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.